BBC World Service. This is Ritula Shah with The Real Story. One topic, 1 hour every week. And this week, the Taliban's taken vast swathes of the Afghan countryside, and now they're battling for control of key cities. How has this Islamic fundamentalist group been able to survive and thrive despite 2 decades of international military action against them? Violent and authoritarian, against the most basic rights for women. Has anything changed about the Taliban? Is international acceptance part of their agenda, or is it irrelevant? There seems to be plenty of cash for weapons and thousands of ready recruits for the battlefield. Where's it all coming from? And the US withdrawal from Afghanistan, is it a massive miscalculation? Or does it imply an acceptance that the Taliban will be a major force, if not the major power in the country? 20 years on, who are the Taliban and what do they want? That's The Real Story from the BBC, coming up after the news.
BBC News. Hello, this is Jerry Smith. 2 coaches from Belarus have been stripped of their accreditation and asked to leave the Olympic Village in Tokyo over their alleged attempt to force an athlete to return home. The president of the International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach, said the treatment of the Belarusian sprinter, Kristina Tsimanouskaya, was deplorable.
We are ready to act whenever something is brought or coming to our attention. I think we have shown clearly with our immediate reaction in this deplorable case of Kristina Tsimanouskaya. We are happy that she is safe in Poland.
The Olympic Committee of Belarus said the 2 officials would return home soon and that it remained open to further dialogue with the IOC. Greece is bracing for a resurgence of wildfires as strong winds whip the embers of blazes thought to have been brought under control. Mike Sanders reports.
A pall of smoke and ash is again clogging the skyline in northern Athens. The winds have spread the blaze that hit the suburb of Varibobi on Tuesday. Thousands of residents in neighbouring districts were woken overnight and told to leave. Flames set fire to vehicles in a car park. The Civil Protection Authority has issued an extreme fire warning. It said that more than half the 100 blazes reported across the country on Thursday were still burning. In neighbouring Turkey, where 8 people died last weekend, the opposition is asking why funds earmarked for firefighting was spent elsewhere.
State media in North Korea say heavy rain and flooding have destroyed more than 1,000 homes and large areas of farmland, adding to concerns about food shortages in the country. Some areas recorded more than a month's worth of rain in 3 days. The damage to agricultural land is of concern, as North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un admitted in June the country faced what he called a tense food situation, and that much would depend on this year's harvest. China has reacted angrily to President Biden's announcement that Hong Kong residents currently in the US will be granted temporary safe haven. It described the American move as a gross interference in Chinese affairs. From Hong Kong, here's Danny Vincent.
President Joe Biden directed the US Department of Homeland Security to allow Hong Kong residents currently in America to stay in the country for up to 18 months in response to what the US describes as Beijing's crackdown against dissent in the former British colony. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs accused President Biden of attempting to smear China and destroy the stability and prosperity in Hong Kong. There have been more than 100 arrests under the Beijing-imposed national security law since it was introduced last year. Activists say the law is being used to silence political dissent.
World News from the BBC. The Tunisian President Kais Saied has sacked more regional governors as he continues to implement a range of exceptional measures. The senior officials in Monastir, Medellin and Zaghouan were all dismissed. This followed the recent sacking of the governor of Sfax. Late last month, the president fired his prime minister and suspended parliament. Rebels from Ethiopia's Tigray region have rejected calls by the United States to leave neighbouring regions, a day after they seized a UN World Heritage Site in Amhara state. On Thursday, Tigrayan forces took control of the town of Lalibela with its rock-hewn churches, which is of great importance to Ethiopia's Orthodox Christians. There were no reports of fighting, but some residents fled. Public venues across Italy are introducing an obligatory green pass from today in an attempt to control COVID infections. This will confirm whether the holder is fully vaccinated, has had a negative COVID test or has recovered from the virus. Our correspondent Mark Lowen is in Rome.
Before digging into a pizza at an indoor restaurant, a look around the Colosseum, a workout at the gym or a night at the opera, there's now a new requirement across Italy to show the QR code of your green pass. Breaking the rule could lead to a fine of €400 for a customer or closure of up to 10 days for a venue. Polls have suggested 70% of Italians support the move, but there have been protests, and the far right are making political capital out of opposing it.
Israel says more rockets have been fired at its territory from neighbouring southern Lebanon. Warning sirens sounded in Israeli communities along the border between the two countries, and the Israeli military has launched a retaliatory artillery fire. There are no reports yet of damage or casualties. BBC News.